everyone, welcome to Christina Cakes It. I'm Christina and today I'm making Oreo Buttercream. So sometimes when I'm making a cake or cupcakes, I kind of want something a little bit different, and the easiest way to add like a little bit of variety to my baking is with just different frostings. And one of my favorite frostings to use with chocolate cakes or cupcakes is Oreo. So Oreo Buttercream is definitely a crowd favorite. Everybody loves Oreo cookies. I have not met anybody who doesn't like them. And it's actually extremely easy to make a variation of Oreo Buttercream. So this recipe actually just starts off with my basic vanilla buttercream, which I have already shared. And I'm just gonna add in a lot of Oreo cookie crumbs to my frosting to make the perfect Oreo buttercream. So as always, the full recipe is down below in the description. And so to get started, I'm just gonna go over the different ingredients that I'm gonna be using. And as I mentioned, it's so easy, it actually only takes 5 ingredients. So what I'm using is 2 cups of butter, and I always use salted, and 2 cups is 4 sticks, 2 pounds of powdered sugar, which just makes it easy because it's basically the bag. If you measure it out, it is about 7 1/4 cups. A 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. You could use milk, but I definitely recommend using the heavy whipping cream. It's gonna give you a better texture. 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and about 20 Oreo cookies, and we are going to crush these up. And this is about 2 cups of crushed Oreos. You could use a little bit less, but I always like a very strong Oreo cookie taste in my buttercream, so 20 Oreo cookies. So if you guys watch my channel, you've heard me say a million times before that I don't have a food processor for whatever reason. And although I want one, you can definitely do it the easy low-tech way. So I'm just gonna put my cookies into a large gallon plastic bag, and I'm gonna take my heavy-duty rolling pin and I'm just going to crush these up. All right, so I have my pulverized crumbs in my bag, and you definitely want to get these as crushed as possible. You want like a really fine crumb, because basically when you go to pipe these or frost your cake, if they're like too big of Oreo chunks, like it's just not gonna be as smooth and it can clog your frosting tip, which is like so frustrating when you are piping cupcakes. So I'm just gonna transfer these to a bowl and set these aside until I'm ready to use them. So I'm gonna be using my stand mixer with my paddle attachment. You could use a hand mixer, but a stand mixer is going to make your job a lot easier. So to begin, I'm just going to beat my 2 cups of butter for about 3 minutes or so. What I'm gonna do next is add in about half the powdered sugar. And if you are type A, you could measure this out. I'm just gonna do it the lazy way and eyeball it from the bag. And definitely start off on your lowest setting so that you don't have a powdered sugar explosion. And as it starts to all come together, then you can increase your speed. So next I'm gonna add in my 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, my 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I'm gonna start this on the lowest setting and very slowly add in the rest of the powdered sugar. And as everything is mixed together, once again, increase that speed. After about a minute or so, I'm gonna scrape down the sides of my bowl. You should always do this with any frosting that you make, or honestly, really any recipe that you make. after this is nice and fluffy, I probably ended up mixing it for a good 3 minutes after I added the rest of the powdered sugar. I'm finally going to add in my Oreo cookie crumbs. So now I'm finally ready to add in my Oreo cookie crumbs, so I'm just gonna add these in. And the one thing about Oreo frosting is it kind of turns like a gray color, so just be prepared for that. So I'm just gonna start on low and then increase the speed as soon as I'm sure this Oreo isn't going to like splash over the sides of the bowl. All right, so this Oreo frosting is done and it looks absolutely perfect. I am very excited about this batch of frosting. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm actually gonna pipe this onto some chocolate cupcakes. But this recipe does make about 7 cups of frosting total. And if you wanted to save it to use later, you can keep this in the fridge for about a week or even freeze it for up to a month. Alright, so my Oreo cupcakes are done, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this very simple recipe. If you did, don't forget to give this episode a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.